Hello. Hello. I hope everyone is well. It is 11/2 or November 2nd of 2024 and we are streaming tonight on Saturday night. Um we're going to stream till I get tired and got to go to bed. I'm wanting to learn. I've been excited. I've been thinking about this all day. Let's go ahead and notify the Discord that I'm streaming. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. Hello? Yeah. That's a good one. Okay, I'm on stream. I'll call you later. Wow. Oh, good thing you didn't let them. All right, I'll talk to you later. All right. Hopefully, we don't get any more disturbances. Put on Do Not Disturb. Hello. We are back streaming here. Let's go ahead and notify the Discord that we're streaming. Uh, all right. All right. Let me go ahead and get the stream link here. Get this for Discord. How do you hyperlink stuff? All right, cool. Cool. Let's go ahead and check back in. We just put that in the Discord. If you aren't in the Discord, feel free to join the Discord. All right. We'll just go ahead and get started here. Some things I want to accomplish for today. I think I'd like to. Let's go ahead and open up like a little notepad. Things we want to accomplish today. No, not a note. These over. So like no, is there like a all right, we got a note here. What do we want to accomplish for today? Stay on my screen? No, it won't. Window. Float on top. Cool. Oh, what do we want to accomplish today? We want to, for the task tracker, we want to fix bug with editing task. Fix bug with task and saving. We want to fix menu flow and user UI. We want to research terminal interaction and menus. Okay. I would like to do Python crash course. Continue. Finish chapter on okay. All right. Got some airheads here. Might be a little bit loud, so let me go ahead and mute real quick while I open these. All right. So let's warm up with some Python crash course. I think that's a good place to warm up. So let me actually go to the folder I have for this. Okay. Perfect. All right. All right. That. All right. All right. We're on chapter 11, page 214, a failing test. What does a failing test look like? Let's modify get formatted names so it can handle middle names. Let's do so in a way that breaks the function for names with just a first and last name, like Janis Joplin. Here's a new version of get formatted name that requires a middle name argument. Def get formatted name takes an argument's first, middle, last. To the notes on it, generate a neatly formatted name as a variable full name, which is a formatted F string for first, middle, last, are input in, and you return the full name variable title case. This version should work for people with middle names, but when we test it, we see that we've broken the function for people with just a first and last name. This time running PyTest gives the following output. PyTest F. Okay. Type error, argument last, requesting argument, okay? Type error. Cool. There's a lot of information here because there's a lot you might need to know when a test fails. The first item of note in the output is a single F, which tells us that one test failed. We then see a section that focuses on failures, because failed tests are usually the most important thing to focus on in a test run. Next, we see that test name, test first last name, was the test function that failed. An angle bracket 4 indicates that the line of code that caused the test to fail. The E on the next line shows the actual error that caused the failure. Type error due to a missing required positional argument last. The most important information is repeated in a shorter summary at the end, so when you're running a mini test, you can get a quick sense of which test failed and why. Responding to a failed test. What to do when a test fails? Assuming you're checking the right conditions, a passing test means the function is behaving correctly, and a failing test means there's an error in the code you wrote. When a test fails, don't change the test. If you do, your test might pass, but any code that calls your function like the test does will suddenly stop working. Instead, fix the code that's causing the test to fail. Examine the changes you made to the function and figure out how those changes broke the desired behavior. In this case, getFormatedName used to require only two parameters, a first name and a last name. Now requires a first name, middle name, and last name. The addition of the mandatory middle name parameter broke the original behavior of getFormatedName. The best option here is to make the middle name optional. Once we do, our test name for Janice Joplin should pass again, and we should be able to accept middle names as well. Let's modify getFormatedName so middle names are optional, and let's run the test case again. If it passes, we'll move on to making sure the function handles middle names properly. To make middle names optional, we move the parameter middle to the end of the parameter list of the function defined and give it an empty default value. If we also add an if test that builds the full name properly depending on whether a middle name is provided. Hello to whoever's in here. I appreciate you joining. Feel free to time in the chat and we can interact. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to talk and chat with you. Currently just reading out of the Python crash course, but going to take a look at the task tracker application we've been working on together. And yeah. So getFormatedName, middle name is last name. Okay, cool. First, last. Gotcha. Hey D1, I appreciate you joining, man. How are you doing? Your name is unfamiliar, so I mean you're new here. Sorry, I'm stuttering so much. I got some soda here and making me all hyped up. I'm drinking some soda so I can stay awake this stream and stream for quite a while. I want to go up to midnight, I think. All right. Hey chicken, how you doing? Welcome back. All right. All right. I got some Airheads here, and they're really chewy. I gotta limit myself on how much I can eat because I had to like stop talking for forever. They're so chewy. Okay. So, adding new tests. Now that we know that getFormatedName works for simple names, again, let's write a second test for people who include a middle name. Okay, let's write a test, def test, get test first, last, middle name, okay? Okay, let's make a new test for our first name. Assert formatted name equals. Okay. We name this new function the test first last middle name. The function must start with the test underscore so that PyTest can interact with it. We name the function to make it clear which behavior it gets. We're testing for. As a result, if the test fails, we know right away what kind of names are affected. To test the function, we call get formatted name with the first last middle name, and we make an assertion and then return the full name matches the full name. Okay. Both tests pass. Gotcha. The two dots indicate that two tests pass, which is also clear the last line of output. This is great. We now know that the function still works for a name like Janis Joplin. We can be confident it also work for Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart as well. Cool. How was yours? I'm doing good. Sorry I didn't stream the past 2 days. I had a 2 day break. I wanted to stream, but I just chose to take a break over Halloween, and I spent some time with my girlfriend. We watched some shows, and we're in kind of festive in the activities and everything. And so, but anyways, I'm back here. I've got some time again to stream, and tomorrow I'll actually probably be streaming a good part of almost all day. I'll probably take breaks for a few hours in between, but I'll probably stream a lot of the day tomorrow, so we can get a lot done and learn a lot tomorrow. If you are interested in seeing that and knowing when I'm and following along for that, feel free to follow along to the channel. Would love to have you. Also, we have a Discord that we all like to. It's fairly new, and we're establishing a community where we can interact as beginners. We're all beginners here. I'm a beginner, or even not beginners can come in and provide feedback and input, and we all can learn and grow together. So the Discord is there's a tab post on my community tab on my page. Go ahead and check that out. So I'm at the try it yourself section of 217.11-1. So let's go ahead and let's make a new folder. Let's go ahead. I'm going to click on this guy. Let's go to the... Where's my terminal? There it is. Let's clear this bad boy out. Let's make dir chapter 11, right? Cool. Let's close chapter 9, open up chapter 11. Let's cd chapter 11, and then let's touch 11.1 city country .py. Would it be useful if I went online to the PDF and put alongside here the problem I'm working on so you guys can follow along? I think that might be useful. Let me go ahead and check that out. Python crash course, 3rd edition here, PDF. Okay, and then let me look up 11-1 here. Page 217. Come on. Sorry guys, trying to find this for you. Further. That's chapter 10 to 11. There we go. Perfect. Alright. There's that. Let me bring this in like so. Okay, so this is the problem I'm working on currently. Hey Chicken asked, hello, can I ask how can I like speed up on learning to code Python? I learned coding too using the book. I didn't watch much YouTube videos about coding using Python. the best advice I can give on learning, and learning quickly is to not put pressure on yourself to learn quickly. I think that can be very defeating to apply a lot of pressure on yourself for something that should be considered a hobby or like a skill. Um, you're not. It's not life or death that you use this to make money at the moment. If that is your situation, that's unfortunate. But for most people, I don't think that it is, and it shouldn't be treated that way. But I think that if you view it, it's your mindset as you go into it as a fun activity. It helps you to retain knowledge, to actually want to do it and keep doing it. Um, but in order to do that, I just tried to work on some simple, silly projects like I've been working on, like the Task Tracker app. Like, will anyone ever use it besides myself? No, probably not. But did I learn a lot from it and take away a lot of information from it? Yeah, I did. And I have taken a lot. And I've been able to really understand how to access and work with and interpret classes and its various things that you can apply to them. And hopefully that kind of answers your question. Helicopter, welcome back. Good to see you, man. All right, so I'm working on 11.1 here, city, country. So write a function that accepts two parameters: a city name and a city, uh, and a city and a country name. So that's def place, right? Right. I'm gonna call this place. So it takes in city and it takes in country. Okay. The function should return a single string of the form city country, such as Santiago, Chile. Restore the function in a module called cityfunctions.py and save this file in a new folder so that PyTest won't try to run the test we've already written. Create a file called test_cities.py that tests the functions you wrote. Write a function called, okay. Store this function in a module called cityfunctions. Are you on your journey to become a software engineer? D1, like I said before, I don't really know. I currently have a job. I'm a formulation chemist, uh, and I have a degree in bachelor's science. I am stuttering so bad today. I have a bachelor of science in biology and chemistry and human, and I I just find that I find data and software interesting, and I use a lot of data in my current profession, and I wanted to learn more and develop more skills with that. So I thought that this would be a good avenue. This is Copter. This is Python Crash Course. This is just what I'm working on right now. It's just a book. This is just the PDF online. So I can't call this 11 underscore because it won't. I need to rename this to city pi, right? So let me rename city underscore functions 11.1 country city country. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll say return, simply return a formatted string. Geez, can't spell. Return a formatted string with the city, right? Dot title inside the bracket, right? And then we want to return the country dot title. Cool. So that runs that function. Hey Vansh, it's good to see you again, man. All right, we got some people in some chat I got to catch up on here. Hello to the people in here. I appreciate you guys joining on this Saturday night. I'm gonna be streaming for quite a while, so get your popcorn, get your snacks. Got mine. I got some Airheads, got some drink. I'm gonna be streaming for some hours on end here and learning. And please provide anything you want me to learn or check out. Things you might provide useful. Check out the Discord and follow the channel. I'll also be streaming a long time tomorrow as well. All right. Chicken said, yes, definitely. Thank you for that. I just wanted to speed things up so maybe I could find like early internships related through coding. Yeah, Chicken. So practice makes perfect, right? You just gotta keep doing things, and I often found that in my free time, I was entertained actually by watching coding videos, listening to coding podcasts, information about programming technology, just in my free time because I found it very interesting and it became more of a hobby. So if it becomes something like that, and that's why I tried to develop a healthy mindset with it, not treating it like something I had to do, but something I wanted to do. Chicken, but yeah, like you said, not to put too much effort. I think I should not do that. I still have plenty of time, maybe. Yeah. Well, of course, everyone's situation is different, but yeah, don't put pressure on yourself. That just takes all the fun out of things, and it's supposed to be fun at the end of the day. Like, you're not supposed to be stressed out by something like just in your free time, right? That makes no sense. Okay, so let's get back on track here. So we have this function. We have a crazy file name, but it's whatever. Uh, so we need to create a new file. So let's touch called test underscore city country, right? .py. No, a file called test cities.py. And then we want to write a function we want to write def test underscore city country, right? To verify that calling your function with values such as Santiago and Chile results in the correct string. Run the test to make sure your test country passes. Aqua. How do you pronounce your name? Is it Aqua, like water? Aqua. Aqua? That's funny. That's a pretty cool, actually funny name. A cool name, actually unique way to pronounce it if it is. Um, Coding creators. I really like. There's one guy that reviews. I forgot his name. I don't really remember the names that well, but he reviews people's professional profiles or portfolios online and kind of roasts them. I think they're pretty funny. Um, I forgot his name though. I'm sorry. I like watching. He's really big. Everybody knows him already. Um, Obviously like Neat Code. He's pretty funny. I like watching the sloth one. His logo's a sloth. What's his name? I'm so bad. Oh god. Sorry guys. Aqua. Okay, cool. It's Aqua. I'll have to look some up. But yeah, I'll just see whatever's on my suggested page that looks interesting. I'll click on and watch while I eat or something. Okay, so we'll write this function, this test function. So um, we want to say place is equal to so we want to from city underscore functions import what's it called? Place. So I can't really use this right? So let me say location is equal to place. We want to say, quote, Santiago, and then quote Chile for the country, and then we want to assert location is equal to quote Santiago, Chile, right? Now, if we run PyTest test underscore cities dot py, command not found. I have PyTest installed, I know that. Oh, we have chats here, sorry. I watched B001 for tips in Python. Nice. Will you learn other coding language after you fully master coding Python? Yeah, I really wanted to really establish a firm base in one thing before I moved on. I did actually start, I'm halfway through the Odin project online, which is CSS, HTML, JavaScript. I'm not to the JavaScript portion because I didn't want to go that far, but I did learn some basic HTML and CSS so I could kind of create a site for my girlfriend for her profession. But uh, yeah, that was pretty basic. Nothing too over the top. But I'm trying to figure out how to run this command. Is it well, let's see. Um, place is just the function I named, right? It's just it's or location. No, it's just a simple function that just returns the place in a string. I'm just trying to learn. It's trying to teach me PyTest here, and I'm trying to figure out how to actually call PyTest in the terminal here. Running a test. PyTest? No. With? Is it with PyTest? No. I don't think so. Let me copy this guy here. Boom. I have PyTest installed, I already thought. Pip install PyTest. I thought I already have a virtual environment set up here. Let me quit this and let me open up from a different location rather than there. Open up here. Okay, so if I open up here, I should have my functions here. Okay, now if I run this guy in the terminal. Okay, yeah, here we go. So now, file directory city test cities.py. Python work. I need a CD chapter 11. Okay, now let me run this. There we go. Perfect. So we passed. Awesome. Any questions on how I did that? How I ran PyTest here? All right. D1 says, you should know Git very well. Work on an open source project to get exposure to work on a code base. I work in tech, not a developer. I worked closely with them. Yeah, I learned I learned Git and GitHub with the Odin project. I was quite one of their beginning, you know, uh, like lessons, I guess is the lack of a better word, and how to like fork stuff from their repos so you can work on them, and then make your own repos. Push to them, local versus remote, things along those lines. So I'm actually planning on I have for the task tracker app that I've been working on alongside here with chat, and I'm gonna push that to GitHub for everybody to work on once I kind of work out a few bugs in the code, hopefully tonight. So stick around if you'd like to see that. All right. So yeah, I just didn't have PyTest install. I had to go back into this different folder. I went back into my Python crash course folder rather than the Python work folder where I had my local, um, like not server, but just localized file location almost, so I can install PyTest and stuff within this file directory itself rather than overwriting my system's Python installation. I created kind of a duplicate with it. It's pretty complicated and I don't really understand too much, but I think that that's what it did. Just so it can all remain like updated and things like that, and you can install third-party packages without altering your main tree. D1. Oh, I heard recently about GitHub. I don't know much about them, but all right, thanks. I'll get on that later. Yeah, Chicken, you should check out the Odin project. They have a good portion on GitHub and how to push things. It's a lot of reading, and it gets kind of honestly a little bit boring reading it. But you do learn a lot if you can just push through and just say, oh, I'm gonna push through this for 2 hours and kind of push. But maybe just watch a video too. That's always a good option. All right, so we ran PyTest on our test function here. All right, PyTest automatically called new to run this function because it detected test underscore. We imported the function from our file here, which is just a basic return formalized or printed statement. So yeah, it's D1. Feel free to join the Discord if you haven't already. It's on the community page. There's a link there to join. All right, so let's go ahead and check out the rest of these. So make sure that your test passes. Gotcha. Modify your function so it requires a third parameter, population. It should now return a single string in the form city, country, dash, population, xxxx, such as Santiago, Chile, population 5 million. Run the test again and make sure test city, country fails this time. So let's go ahead and do what it says. So we want to run, let's go ahead and make a new file. It's going to be called population underscore 11-12 or 11 2 dot pi, right? And then from this we want to modify our functions to requires a third parameter. So let's take this code from before, go over to here, modify this so it has a third parameter, population, and it's going to return the same f string but with just slight modification. It's going to say dash does it want a single string in the form, a third parameter population? Oh, a population is going to be integer. Population. No, I don't want this to be inside of this one here. And then we'll put here population, right? Just like so. So then if we run PyTest modify our function so that it requires a third parameter and it should return a string. Run the test again and make sure test country fails this time. So now if we run from, not from that one, let's rename this guy to test cities for 11.1. Now let's go make a new file for test cities for 11.2.py. Right, we'll just copy this guy over to here, and then we'll modify this file. Instead of importing it from there, we want to import from population 11.2. All right, what is PyTest? Chicken Enthusiast. Yeah, so Chicken Enthusiast, PyTest is just a way to, pre-program some tests into your function. We learned about in the reading the difference between unit tests and test cases. So if I go back here, I'll read for you. A unit test verifies that one specific aspect of a function's behavior is correct. So does function perform A? Yes, it does. A test case is a collection of unit tests together that prove a function behaves as it's supposed to. So, we have a unit test, does it prove A does correct? Okay, now we have another unit test, does this prove B is correct? Now we have another unit test, does this prove C is correct? All of those together create a test case, apparently, and this test case proves that a function behaves as it's supposed to. Good test case, however, have considered full coverage, which includes a full range of unit tests, right? Testing for A, testing for B, in all possible ways you can use the function. So look at it from all angles, and together all of those create a test case, all those unit tests. And PyTest just is a way to actually run those tests. And so right here, let me just break this down. So I import, all this is kind of hard with all these, don't look at all these kind of file notations. This is how I'm just organizing and labeling the files themselves within my directory systems. But I'm just saying from my file, I'm importing the function that it has within it, right? And then I'm creating this test, right? PyTest recognizes functions that start with test underscore. And I'm creating this test that and I'm going to create a variable, and I'm going to use the place function within this file. And I'm going to use it to create a as it describes. I use very pretty descriptive variables here. I'm going to use it to create a place, or create a function that's use this function to create a place. Like it returns just the name and name of the city and the name of the country that's given. So, and then I use the assert keyword. Um, the assert keyword just basically says I assert that this is supposed to happen. I assert that location variable is supposed to equal this. If it doesn't, my test failed. So I'm pre-programming in an answer that this test should be expecting. So things like user input is kind of cool, because then you can pre-program like things like what the user should be putting in, and make sure your test cases are running appropriately for that. Does that kind of make sense, Chicken Enthusiast 111? Kind of a ramble, I know, but hopefully that made some sense. Okay, so let's go ahead, and we have test cities underscore one. We want to remove that. We want to get rid of this guy. So we have a population, and we have here. So now, because we added in this third parameter that is not optional, this test should fail because location is going to have an error associated with it. So if I run this function here, test cities underscore 11 underscore 2, just get the name right, and run, I should fail with a type error. Perfect. So I get one fail. My function failed because I'm expecting a positional argument population, exactly as I said before. I'm needing an argument or something to fill in for this variable, and I did not provide it here. I only provided 2 arguments. I didn't provide the third one here for population, right? So now we're probably going to remedy that within the rest of the problem here. So it says modify the function so it failed. Okay, modify the function so that the population parameter is optional. Run the test and make sure test city country passes. So we'll go ahead and make this optional by making it equal an empty string, so that technically it can be nothing in this case. It can be, and so what happens if we run this? But it won't equal this though. It's going to return. I think I need to modify something here. It should now return in the form of population. Okay, yeah, so let me go here, copy this part just really quick. Oh, I have that right. Okay, I have it right. Never mind. So now I'll assert I need to say that it's going to be modifier functions requires a third parameter population. It's interesting because the if I modify the function right, it's going to return with this string here. I'm not detecting that portion of the string here, so I need to say population is y 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? So now if I run this, or no, whoops. No, do not want to do that. I want to go back to this guy here. Run this guy. So we failed. Assertion error. Population equals. It should just equal none, right? Like that. It probably should be like that. If I run, I pass. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So then if I so now if I say modify the function so the parameters optional, run the test, make sure it passes again. Okay, so now I had to put in this portion here. Okay. So now it passes again. Write a second test called test underscore city underscore pop that verifies you can call your function with the values. So we'll write a new test here in our test file. It's called test underscore city underscore country underscore population that verifies you can call your function with the value Santiago, Chile and population equal to 5,000. So I'm going to just copy this code over, run here, so location, and then population equal to 5 million. Right? Yeah, 5 million. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. And so now if I return that, it should, both of these tests should pass. If I run PyTest here, boom, both tests pass. Chicken Enthusiast said, I'm sorry, I kind of get confused on how it really works in its function besides checking for errors. That's basically not checking for errors. You're just wanting to check that your function covers all scopes that can be interpreted of it, right? When you provide your code to people that didn't think like you or don't think like you, I guess from my understanding is that my understanding is fairly limited, but is that they can interpret it in different ways. They can manipulate it in different ways. They can not put in input in certain ways that you're expecting. So by writing tests that cover all these different angles, you are confident in your program that it can handle or these functions that it can handle the cases that you're wanting it to. So so both our tests pass here, meaning that with these inputs to the place function, we get these outputs, right? So Chicken says, all right, D1, does the book Python Crash Course provide something like that, or is there other ways besides on debugging like my own projects? I'm very far from that. Yeah, I'm not that great at debugging either, to be honest. I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know how to use the debugger in VS Code and stuff. I don't know any of that. I need to learn that for sure. And it would be, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys and try to front and say I do, because I don't, and I want to be honest as a beginner. Okay, so that it was the two problems, 11.1 and 11.2. We were successfully able to get both of those tests to pass for these inputs and make an optional argument that the function place has within it. Any questions on those two problems that we did together? Hello to the people that are in here. On my stats it says 7, but if there are others, if that's wrong, that's okay. But I'm Michael. I appreciate you guys joining tonight. I'll be streaming for a few hours tonight, not a few, but quite a while. Hopefully, maybe to midnight or beyond that, my time PST. And tomorrow I'll be streaming quite a while as well. So feel free to follow along, join the Discord, all that jazz. All right. Moving on to the next part. Let me see how much longer we have in this chapter. Not that long, actually, so let's just keep pushing here. Okay. Testing a class. In the first part of this chapter, you wrote tests for single functions. I'll keep the text actually right here to the right side of my screen, so you guys can actually read it as I go. If I forget to move it down, I apologize. All right. In the first part of the chapter, you wrote tests for a single function. Now you'll write tests for a class. You'll use classes in many of your own programs, so it's helpful to be able to prove that your classes work correctly. If you have passing tests for a class you're working on, you can be confident that improvements you make to the class won't accidentally break current behavior. A variety of assertions. So far, you've seen just one kind of assertion, a claim that a string has a specific value. When writing a test, you can make any claim that can be expressed as a conditional statement. If the condition is true as expected, your assumption about how that part of your program behaves will be confirmed. You can be confident that no errors exist. If the condition you assume is true is actually false, the test will fail and you'll know there's an issue to resolve. Table 11.1 shows some of the most useful kinds of assertions you can include in your initial tests. Is it useful to have this PDF on the right side so you guys can follow along with the actual what I'm reading? I feel like it is, but if it's not, then I'll get rid of it. All right, we have D1 says building your own projects will get you the exposure you need. The best debugging method is print statements because it shows you the flow of the code. That is true. I guess I can personally attest to that. When I don't know something or I don't know if it's going to work, I just will stick like a print statement right there and see like, okay, am I printing out at least something at this part, and you can kind of track using print statements what things are going on. It might sound like, oh, what does that mean? But once you start doing it, you'll see, oh, if I put a print statement in this for loop, I can see that it's printing every time it does this. And Aqua says, how does the assert accept the first location when the first characters are lowercase but the tests are uppercase? Oh, because in my function here, I put this method, right? I applied this method to the variable or the input or parameter that is applied to the place function, which just makes the string title case. Every new word in the character is capitalized for the first character of that word. All right. I have fun. Copter says I have fun things like defined a int equals 5. Chicken enthusiast. D1. How can I start a project besides in the coverage of Python Crash Course book? I'm honestly just on the white spaces. I started to learn program with Python a few days ago. Yeah, chicken enthusiast. I've created a few projects so far, and I guess some advice I have for that is just to find something that you actually enjoy doing and that you think might be fun to apply to your life. I'm a chemist. I work with chemicals and tracking chemicals and making sure I have various testing supplies ready, so I can meet my deadlines given to me by my company. And so with that, I thought it'd be cool to create an inventory storage system for tracking chemicals or whatever inventory I wanted. So that's what I used for my CS50P final project. There's a video on my channel if you want to check out how that works. It's pretty similar to my task tracker app in theory, but just has some different fundamentals. D1 says you can build small projects based on what you learn and build on top of what as you continue to learn. For example, you can learn methods, so you can build projects using methods only. Then you can learn classes, so now you can refactor the code using classes. Yeah, exactly. All right. Feel free to follow along to the channel, guys. I'm trying to grow the channel, so if you haven't done so and want to continue learning with us and learning along and improving your skills as well, alongside, feel free. Okay, let's go ahead and continue on here. So these are common assertions that we can be given. So assert A is equal to B, assert that two values are equal to each other, assert that A is not equal to B, not equal. Assert A is A, assert B, assert not A, right? Assert element in list, assert that there's something in a list, assert element not in list. Okay, cool. Those all seem pretty easy to remember. Just assert that something, is not something, assert that something is true, is not true, assert that something is in something, something is not in something. A class to test. Testing a class is similar to testing a function because most of the work involves testing the behavior of the methods in the class. However, there are a few differences, so let's write a class to test. Consider a class that helps administrators administer anonymous surveys. So we're given a class here, anonymous survey, and its job is to collect anonymous answers to a survey question. So when we initialize the class, an instance with, we're given a question, and we have that question assigned as an instance variable, and then we also have an instance variable which is an empty list. We have a method within this class called show question. We have which just shows the survey question. We have a method called store response, which just stores the response to the responses list. And we have show results, which shows all the responses that have been given. Okay, so pretty simple. Chicken thing. Oh, therefore, do you want? I would actually debug my try of your self task on Crash Course. Yeah, chicken. Just keep trying stuff. It's just trial and error, and don't get discouraged if things don't work out because you can always just keep trying. Right? There's no failing grade. Right? All right. So the class starts with a survey question that you provide and includes an empty list to store responses. The class has methods to print the survey question, add a new response to the response list, and print all the responses stored in the list. To create an instance of this class, all you have to provide is a question. Once you have an instance representing a particular survey, you display the survey question with show question, store a response using store response, and show all with show results. Okay. To show that the anonymous survey class works, let's write a program that uses the class. So from survey, import anonymous survey. Define what a question and make a survey. So question, what language did you first speak? You make an instance. Cool. Show that the question work. So this is similar to like the task tracker app, I guess. You use while loops to continue asking for input and ask for the survey. This program defines a question. What language did you first learn to speak? And creates an anonymous survey object with that question. The program calls show question to display the question and then prompts for responses. Each response is stored as it's received. When all responses have been entered, the user inputs Q to quit. Show results prints the survey results. What language did you first speak? Enter Q to quit anytime. Language English, language Spanish, language English, language Mandarin, language Q. Thank you for everyone who participated in the survey. Survey results equals those. This class works for a simple anonymous survey bit, but say we want to improve anonymous survey and the module it's in, survey. We could allow each user to enter more than one response. We could write a method to list only unique responses and to report how many times each response was given. Or we could even write another class to manage non-anonymous surveys. Things are getting more in depth here. You can make function. See you soon, Vanish. I'll be here. All right. Implementing such changes would risk affecting the current behavior of the class anonymous survey. For example, it's possible that while trying to allow each user to enter multiple responses, we could accidentally change how single responses are handled. To ensure we don't break existing behaviors as we develop this module, we can write tests for this class. Okay, cool. So testing the anonymous survey class. Let's write a test that verifies one aspect of the way anonymous survey behaves. We'll write a test to verify that a single response to the survey question is stored properly. That's okay, chicken. Trial and error is the best way to approach learning, as Michael said. As for the debugger tool, you set breakpoints on the section of code you want to step through to see what went wrong. Yeah, I think I remember that from the CS50P. Okay. So from survey, import anonymous survey. Okay, so we're writing a test, def test store single response. Test that a single response is stored properly. Question, what language did you first learn to speak? Language store, so you create it, and then you store English, and then you assert that English is in the responses list. We start by importing the class we want to test, anonymous survey. The first test function will verify that we want to store a response to the survey question. The response will end up in the survey's list of responses. A good descriptive name for the function is test underscore store underscore single underscore response. Line 1. If this test fails, we will know from the function's name in the test summary that there was a problem storing a single response from the survey. Okay? To test the behavior of a class, we need to make an instance of the class. We create an instance called language underscore survey in line 2 with the question, what language did you first learn to speak? We store a single response, English, using the store response method. So the store response method from before was just the while loop to continue asking the user for that language that they answered to the question. Okay. We then verify that the response was stored correctly by asserting that English is in the list language survey dot responses. Okay. By default, running the command pytest with no arguments will run all the tests that pytest discovers in the current directory. To focus on the test just one file, pass the name of the file you want to run. Here we'll run just one test we wrote for anonymous survey. Pytest test underscore survey dot py. Pass test, gotcha. This is a good start, but a survey is useful only if it generates more than one response. Let's verify that 3 responses can be stored correctly. To do this, we add another function called to test underscore survey dot py. Okay, so from survey, so they added in this new test right here. Def test 3 responses, okay? Test that 3 individual responses are stored properly. So question, what language did you first speak? Language survey anonymous question. So you create a survey question. You in responses equals those 3. 4 responses in responses. 4 response in responses. Sorry, excuse me. Store where is def store response? Oh, it just appends it to the list. Okay. So, for response and responses, language.survey.store response. So for every response in the list, you store it, and then for every list in the list, right, assert that it's in the list. Okay, so use this seems kind of redundant, but okay. We call the new function test underscore store underscore three underscore responses. We create a survey object just like we did in test store single responses. We define a list containing three responses, and then we call store responses for each of these responses. Once the responses have been stored, we write another loop and assert that each response is now in the language survey responses. So you're just making sure that your storing of the responses works. When we run the test file again, both tests for the single response and for three responses pass. So we get 2 dots. Right. Cool. If you guys haven't yet, feel free to thumbs up the stream. Hopefully we can get caught up in the algorithm like we've been getting caught up in the past couple of streams, and get some more people in here and get the conversation flowing. It gets pretty fun, and I think everybody kind of enjoys it when we get some people in here. But I appreciate you guys for joining me so far. All right. So using fixtures. In test survey pi, we created a new instance of anonymous survey in each test function. This is fine in the short example we're working with, but in real world projects with tens of hundreds of tests, this would be problematic. In testing, a fixture helps us set up a testing environment. Often this means creating a resource that's used by more than one test. We create a fixture in PyTest by writing a function with the decorator at pytest.fixture. A decorator, okay, what? In testing, a fixture helps us set up a test environment. Often this means creating a resource that's used by more than one test. Okay, so if you want, within your test, if you want to create something that's used by the test, you can use this fixture, okay? We create a fixture in PyTest by writing a function with the decorator at pytest.fixture. A decorator is a directive placed just before a function definition. Python applies this directive to the function before it runs to alter how the function code behaves. Don't worry if this sounds complicated. You can start to use decorators from third-party packages before learning to write them yourself. Let's use a fixture to create a single survey instance that can be used in both test functions in test_survey.py. So from py, import pytest, okay, from survey, import anonymous survey. Okay, so we import pytest here is new. So line 1 at pytest fixture, def language underscore survey, a survey that will apply to all functions. We're almost done with the chapter, guys. 2 more pages here. So a survey that will be available for all test functions. Question: what language did you first learn to speak? Language survey. So you create the object based on the question, and then you return language survey. A survey that will be available to all test functions. Okay, so what this did was created the object, right, and it returns that object so that each of these tests can use that object rather than having to create the object each time. Hello, Hyper. Appreciate you joining. It's good to see you, man. Or woman or whoever you are. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that, but I appreciate you joining. Feel free to let us know what you're working on in Python or whatever language, and what brings you here. All right. So we use this this fixture to just create this object so that we can reuse it. That's really interesting. That's really cool. Okay, that was really helpful actually to know. We need to import PyTest now because we're using a decorator that is defined in PyTest. We apply the at PyTest fixture and decorator in line 1 to the new uh, uh, function, language survey. This function builds an anonymous survey object and returns the new survey. Notice that the definitions of both PyTest functions have changed in line 3 and 5. Each test function now has a parameter called language survey. When a parameter in a function matches the full name of a function within the PyTest fixture decorator, the fixture will run automatically and return the value the return value will be passed to the test function. In this example, the function language underscore survey, right, which is the function that creates the object, supplies both test store single response and test store 3 responses with a language survey instance. There's no new code in either of the test functions, but notice that 2 lines have been removed from each function, in lines 4 and 6. Yeah. The line that defined a question and the line that created the anonymous object. Survey object. When we run the test file again, both tests still pass. These tests would be particularly useful when trying to expand anonymous survey to handle multiple responses for each person. After modifying the code to accept multiple responses, you could run these tests and make sure that they haven't affected the ability to store a single response or a series of individual responses. The structure above will almost certainly look complicated. It contains some of the most abstract code you've seen so far. You don't need to use fixtures right away. It's better to write tests that have a lot of repetitive code than to write no tests at all. Just know that when you've written enough tests that the repetition is getting in the way, there's a well-established way to deal with the repetition. Also, fixtures in a simple example like this one don't really make the code any shorter or simpler to follow, but in projects with many tests or in situations where it takes many lines to build a resource that's used in multiple tests, fixtures can drastically improve your test code. When you want to write a fixture, write a function that generates the resource that's used by multiple test functions. Add the PyTest fixture decorated to the new function, and add the name of the function that has a parameter for each test function that uses the resource. Your test will be shorter and easier to write and maintain from that point forward. Cool. All right, we got some chats in here. Let's get caught up. Hyper, how's it going? How far along are you? Hello, Hyper. I'm on page 222 of chapter 11 here. We're going to try the Try Yourself 11.3 here. Once you feel comfortable with Python, you want to pick up framework like Flask or Django and learn backend development, which is server side. Yeah, that's going to be one of my next things I need to focus on. Is I have a pretty good knowledge of Python, file I/O, functions, loops, all that jazz. I was able to create, task tracker, inventory system, storage system. So maybe that's what I should look into next. This is where your business logic and models will be at. Yeah. I kind of plan to take Django, then Java and HTML. Honestly, just learn the tools used in the things you want to build. From Chase from Space. Hello, Chase from Space. Appreciate you joining, man. It's it's good to see you, and I hope you're doing well tonight. Thanks for participating in our stream. I don't know, I forgot the name. It's Pandas. Yeah. Pandas, yeah. Panda and NumPy. Java is a background language like Python. I would recommend JavaScript so you can have the front end client side and then pick up framework React Angular. All right, lots of great advice going on in the chat. Awesome, guys. Okay, so we're doing the Try It Yourself for 11.3. So write a class called. All right, we're gonna have. This might be a little bit of a doozy here. We gotta write a whole class. So let's go ahead and touch 11.3 employee.py, and let's go ahead and open this guy up. All right. Write a class called employee. The init method should take in a first name. Class employee, right? When we initialize the method, the instance, right? When we initialize, we get self, and then we say taking a first name, last name, and an annual salary. Okay. And store each of these as attributes. Okay. I always forget def out front. So now we'll just store each of these as attributes applied to self. Name is equal to first name, right? And then we'll just copy these down, and I'll change this to last name. Right, change this guy over. And change this guy to annual salary. Oh, whoops, sorry. Whoops. Come on, come back. Baby, come back. Why did it do this? Come on. There we go. Ah, come on. I hate when the MacBook does have some glitches with its current way of organizing the tabs. All right, we have some chats here. Thanks for chatting, guys. We have Chase from Space says, I feel like there's some misconceptions here. Java and Python are not backend language. Any language can be used in any context if they're all Turing complete. Turing. Not sure what that was. Yeah, makes sense. All right, so let's go ahead. So we have this annual salary, and then annual salary. Cool. We assign those as attributes. Cool. Write a method called give raise that adds $5,000 to the annual salary by default, but also accepts a different raise amount. So we'll do def give underscore raise, which will take in the instance itself, and then also take in a amount, which by default is going to be blank, or by default is going to be 5,000, right? So but also accepts a value, a different raise amount. Okay, so we'll say we want to add it to the annual salary. So self dot annual salary is plus equal to 5,000, or plus equal to amount, right? And we'll just return that value. No, we're not going to return that value. We're just going to set that value. So there's nothing to return. We're setting that value, right? Annual salary. I don't want to set it equal to. I'm just going to set plus equal to. Oh yeah, plus equal to amount. We have some chats here. Good. For example, if you're in JavaScript, you can pick up Node.js. I assume you're talking about web development. I say the C++ JavaScript. Hey Darshan, good to see you again. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you coming in here. How's your Saturday going? So we'll set the amount to 5,000 by default, but they can override it with anything that they'd specifically want. And then write a test file for employee with two functions. So we need to rename this actually to employee pi. Actually, we want to name this rename to employee.py. I'm going to create a new folder within this guy. I mean, name this 11_3. Put employee.py inside. Great. Make a new folder called 11_1. I'm going to put test cities 11.1 inside there. And then I'm going to put city functions _1 inside there. And then I'm going to create a folder 11_2, which I'm going to move to chapter 11. I'm going to put population inside. I'm going to put test cities for population inside. So now that's organized appropriately. So now I can create a new file here called test employee.py. Right, and then from employee import employee. Okay, so we want to create an instance. So let's import PyTest, and let's use the PyTest decorator. So at PyTest dot fixture. Let's create def create employee, which is just going to go like this. We're going to employee is equal to the employee class instance, and we'll give this what does the employee take in? Takes in a first name, last name, and annual salary. Okay, so with two functions. Write test file. So I'll write the fixture, but then I'll put it in without. So actually, I'll write it without, and then I'll put it in later because that's what it wants me to do. So I'll just comment that out. All right, so we want to say write a test for employee with two test functions. Def test underscore give default raise, right? And test, and then we want to, which let's put pass for now, and then def test underscore give custom raise, right? And then we'll say pass for now. Write your test once without using a fixture, and then make sure they both pass, then write a fixture so they don't. Create a new employee instance in each test function. Run the test again and make sure they both still pass. Run the test again. Okay. So this is going to be employee is equal to employee. We're going to give Michael, or we'll give it someone in the chat. We'll give someone in the chat. Darshan, you're our lucky candidate today. Darshan is his first name, and then I'm going to copy your last name just so I get it right. Is our employee of the for this example. So I forgot there's an E at the end of that guy. Okay, and then he gets a default salary already given to him. So let's assert employee dot annual salary is equal to 5,000, right? Let's go ahead and run this PyTest. So we want to cd into 11 underscore 3. Oops, cd into 11 underscore 3. Okay. So now we should try to run PyTest on test employee.py. And we get a fail here. One pass, one fail. Okay, so let me go ahead and comment this out. I think it's still running that. So let's try that one more time. And we fail here. Missing annual salary. Okay, so okay, so we need to give by default. So annual salary is just going to be 0, right? So we want to assert that dot employee dot we want to assert that, but first we want to actually give the raise, right? So we need to say we need to apply the get raise method onto the employee themselves. So dot get dot employee not get raise, give raise, right? So by default that should give the raise of 5,000. So now let's clear this and let's run one more time, and boom, we passed. Thank you, Darshan. Got that one for us. All right. Cool. So we have that. Now let's go ahead and let's create a new employee here. We'll do the give raise. So employee, whoops. Is equal to our employee is equal to employee who wants to be our employee now. We'll say chicken quote enthusiast 111. Actually, we'll make his salary 111. Right now, chicken enthusiast has a salary of 111. So if we employee dot give raise, and we give him a raise, actually we'll make his salary 0 for right now. Sorry, chicken, and we'll give you a raise of 111. And then we want to assert that employee dot annual salary is equal to 111. So now if we run this code, we should get 2 passes, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Boom. Boom. That's what I'm talking about. Awesome. Okay, so we were successfully able to apply a default raise to our class, right? Create an instance of an employee and give that person a raise. Chicken, if you're not watching, really pay attention here. This is what you were talking about earlier about catching up with me here. I got these airheads are giving me the burps. Sorry, guys. But if these classes are really important to understand here. So we're creating an instance of an employee here, just in this object case, and then by default they have an annual salary, and we can give them a raise of $5,000 by default. But if we specify any other number here by inside of the give raise function, it overrides that 5,000, and so you can see that this pass is asserting that their annual salary is now 111 because we gave them the raise of 111. All green, all good to go. All right. So now we need to actually create the fixture here, and use it inside instead of these two things here. So we're going to create employee, and we will use Chase from space here as our employee for our fixture. So space, Chase, you got 0. You got to earn your keep so far. You got $0 so far, and we want to return the employee, right? We want to return Chase from space. So now, if we call, instead of calling or building our own employees, right, individually every time we run the test, let's go ahead and call the create employee function first. How do I go about doing this? So we create the employee. Okay, so then inside, not here, but inside of here, we give the create employee fixture. Right. And then we do create employee dot give raise assert create employee dot annual salary. How would that work? I don't think that would work. That does work. Hello, Ahmed. I appreciate you joining. It's good to hear from you. Thanks for participating in our chat here and joining us. We're just beginner programmers here, learning from online resources and helping each other out, creating a cool environment. Feel free to follow along if you want to join along. So what we did was we're using this as our template here. Move this out the way. So we have our fixture, right, which creates the instance and returns it. And then we call that fixture inside of our test function. and then we call the method directly to the fixture. And then, okay, so the fixture becomes our object. Okay, so then let's go ahead and take this guy out of comment mode, and let's give create employee here, and then create employee here, which takes care of that, and then assert create employee dot annual salary is equal to 111. Now, if we run both of these tests, we get 2 pass. Boom, boom, boom. Perfect. So that took care of adding. We successfully were able to add a fixture using pytest.fixture to repeatedly create this object whenever we want to use it within our test. So we don't have to have this object creation happening every single time, or written in every single time. It is happening every single time. Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and just read this summary, and then we can be done with this. Take a quick break, and then move on to our next thing we want to learn and work on. So for all those that are still here, let's get some, give me a hello in chat or something. Let's get, and then let's maybe get some ideas about what next we want to work on. So in this chapter, you learn to write tests for functions and classes using tools in the PyTest module. You learn to write test functions that verify specific behaviors your functions and classes should exhibit. You saw how fixtures can be used to efficiently create resources that can be used in multiple test functions in a test file. Testing is an important topic to many newer programmers aren't exposed to. You don't have to write tests for all simple projects you try as a new programmer, but as soon as you start to work on projects that involve significant development effort, you should test the critical behaviors of your functions and classes. You'll be more confident that new work on your project won't break the parts that work, and this will give you the freedom to make improvements to your code. If you accidentally break existing functionality, you'll know right away you can still fix the problem easily. Responding to a failed test that you ran is much easier than responding to a bug report from an unhappy user. Other programmers will respect your projects more if you include some initial tests. They'll feel more comfortable experimenting with your code, and you'll be more willing to work with your projects. If you want to contribute to a project that other programmers are working on, you'll be expected to show that your code passes existing tests, and you'll usually be expected to write tests for any new behaviors you'll introduce to the project. Play around with tests to become familiar with with the process of testing your code. Write tests for the most critical behaviors of your functions and classes, but don't aim for full coverage in early projects unless you have a specific reason to do so. Well, guys, exciting news here. This marks us getting to part 2 of Python Crash Course. So I'll just quickly read this excerpt. Congratulations. You now know enough about Python to start building interactive and meaningful projects. Creating your own project will teach you new skills and solidify your understanding of concepts introduced in Part 1. Part 2 contains 3 kinds of projects, and you can choose to do any or all 3 of these projects in whichever order you like. Here's a brief description of each project to help you decide which to dig into first. Wow! Give us a round of applause! You guys should feel proud of yourselves. We came a long way here. Over, probably, well, obviously over 23 pages of, learning here, but also countless hours of trying and doing these try-it-yourself problems, and also making the try-it-yourself videos, which I will still continue doing until I hopefully make all of them. So those are on my channel. If you guys haven't seen those just quick answer videos to the try-yourself problems. But that is going to do it for Python Crash Course for today. So round of applause to everybody. Huge feat for the channel and for us. Big progress so far. But how are we feeling so far, you guys? Are we learning stuff? Are we understanding? All right. A doggo. I'm a doggo pet here. All right. Hey, Miss Kitty. Kitty's coming in for some love too. All right. So let's go ahead and open up the task list here. Let me quit. Now let me code here one more time. All right. Cool. Awesome. Hello, Cheese Slice. Thanks for joining. I appreciate you contributing to the chat and commenting. It's good to hear from you. So we are in our task tracker app now, transitioning into this. This is what we've been working on for the past few weeks, little by little, after work. We have successfully been able to task traps, but we do have track tasks and upload them, create them, and modify them, but we do have a slight bug with our edit task property function. So within this function, we prompt the user to select a task that they would like to edit with this task, and we save that task to the task to edit variable. We successfully are able to do that. Nothing's wrong there. Randomly saw this video on my homepage. Don't know how you got onto my algo. LMAO. Well, I really appreciate Cheese Slice that you're here. You sound like a great person, and I'm really happy that I got on your algorithm. That means that this whole thing is working. So just working on some Python code as a beginner and creating a kind of environment for other beginners to feel comfortable sharing and learning. So feel free to follow along to the channel for streams. I stream all the time, and for just videos, informational videos about learning and my progress as a beginner. Did you prepare for this live stream? What do you mean by that? Live, oh, I do everything live pretty much. I built all this stuff pretty much live on camera here while I've been streaming. Okay, so we right now when a user goes into our it might be easier for me to show you, but first I'll explain. When a user enters into this menu section to select, after they select a task that they want to edit, they are successfully able to edit the task title, right? But this does not actually, when they continue, if they continue prompting and they select, I don't believe that this saves right here. If they continue prompting and then change the date of that task as well, I believe that the title becomes task to edit, right? So is your project like we'll be able for us to try it out? Yes, and chicken, you guys will be able to try this out for sure. I wanted to just fix this little bug, and I think it then will be ready to kind of launch for a like 1.0 version for us, for people to try out. I just got to kind of package it together and work on that. Hopefully we can get that done by the end of this weekend. I have a GitHub page right now. I think it's just Michael D. Deming is my GitHub, or it might be Michael Deming. But I just have on there. I don't think I have much on there right now. I think I have just a small little short website that I made for my girlfriend for her profession. Just a really simple one, and then just some stuff I've been working on through the Odin project. But going to upload some original stuff on there very soon, including this. So when they loop through, so let's just try this out. Actually, let's just run. Let's go ahead and run. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this guy over. All right. So let's go ahead and get into the program here. So we can press 1 to enter initially, and this launches the program. Are these university course projects? No, these are just independent projects to have fun. All of this is just having fun and learning and just trying to take on a new skill in my free time and hopefully share it with you guys, and have, if you guys are also taking on this new skill, we can all just do it together. So that's kind of the goal of this. Nothing too serious. So let's go ahead and add a new task. Let's say we want to clean our room, and we're going to give this 1 day to complete. Now I'm going to add a new task, and let's say that this is mow the lawn. I'm going to give this 5 days to complete. So now if I view the task, my first task will be clean room, and second class will be mow the lawn, just based off of their days to complete being filtered. So we'll view the tasks, we'll view all the tasks, and as you can see, that is correct. So now if we actually want to edit a task, right? So let's edit the task list with option 2. How would you like to edit the task list? Let's go ahead and edit a task property with option 1. So now we're in this menu right now that I was talking about, where things aren't working really properly. So we are able to successfully let's select 1 to select that we want to select the first task, or the clean room task, to edit. Then let's change the title to new clean room title, just so it's established so we know what it is, right? So now if I do that and go back to the main menu, and then I view the tasks and view all tasks, oh, whoops, I did not mean to do that. Let's go view all tasks, view all tasks. We have the title saved, right? New clean task, new clean room title. So let's go ahead and change that back. Edit task property, 1, task title, clean room, right? So now if we go back to the main menu and we view all the tasks, we press 1 to view all tasks, we get this back where we were, right? So let's go ahead and exit the program and clear our terminal to get back, and then let's go ahead and run, just to make things cleaner, and launch back in. So now if I go ahead and edit the tasks again, I edit a task property, I select clean room, and I want to edit the task title, right? So let's make this let's make this clean room new title, right? And then also, this is where stuff goes wrong. If I, in addition, right, in this loop, change the days to complete, if I make this 10 days, so now clean room will come after mow the lawn, just so we can visually see that we are changing the day and the task is being updated. The name is remaining the original name, and it's not being saved within this loop before it goes to the next part. So if I press this, I go back to main menu, our task will be filtered appropriately, reassigned a new due date, but the name will remain the old name of clean room, not clean room new title. So if I view all tasks, and I'm wrong, so why am I wrong? I swear that this was not working earlier. That just made me look so dumb, but this was not working earlier. So now if I save this and I go to my tasks, we have this here. Okay, so everything worked appropriately. So let's try it one more time. 1. So let's go edit task list, edit task property. We want to edit number 2, edit the task title. Let's just change this to something crazy like blah 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 blah. Edit days to complete, 1 day to complete, main menu, view tasks, view all tasks. Okay, so maybe it is working appropriately. I thought that it wasn't working. I thought we had a bug, but maybe I'm wrong. I swear that... Try... So, days to complete. Well, oh well, I guess it is working. So then, let's go ahead, and there was something I saw that I wanted to fix. So if it comes up again, we can identify it, but I don't see it happening anymore. So let's go into our program. Let's go ahead and view all tasks. So I don't want this to be a menu. Last time we created this menu for viewing all the tasks, right? I don't actually want to create this menu. I want it to display the tasks right away, and then let the user be given an option of either going back or filtering the tasks for an additional view. So let's go ahead and view all, and let's exit out here. So let's go back up here to the run system, and then we have display tasks here. So let's go and check out display tasks right here. So when we run display tasks, I want to actually do task dot display tasks, right? I want to display the task as they are, and then I want to run this while loop, and I'm going to do cowsay dot cow, and I'm going to have the cow do that, right? And then we run this loop, and so then we edit 1 here. So if 1, which is going to be filter tasks, main menu. So this is we're gonna run filter tasks here, and then or we're gonna run run system here, right? Cool. So now if we save this and run, or let's go no, let's clear, run, enter in. Now if we view tasks, we should be given the tasks immediately and then given the option to filter. So the cowsay can't display an object, so that's fine. So we'll fix that later, but we have current tasks, and then we can filter tasks, filter priority 1 tasks, and we see those tasks. Okay, perfect. So let's exit these tasks. Let's clear. Let's go ahead and exit out of this. Let's go back here. I want to remove the cowsay because that's not working appropriately. It can't display objects. So let's look up how to make cowsay print class objects. Make cowsay print an object, you'll need to convert the object to a string, since cowsay only accepts strings as Inputs here's the same approach. So we don't have a stir method. But this returns, display tasks returns a print. What if I return a print and then I put the calstate back? No, this still doesn't work. Okay, whatever, it's fine, I guess. We'll figure that out later, it's not important. So let's see how this works now. Let's go no, clear, run, cool. So let's view, we see all those. It's still running that. Oh, because I have this still on here. Delete, save, run, 2, clear, run, 1, gotcha. So view tasks, we get the current task, and now we're prompted to be able to filter them. So now we can filter. All right. And then we can view priority 1 tasks, and then we're back to main menu. So filter tasks. So then we don't want to say main menu for filter tasks when the user, we don't want to break. So if user presses 1, you break, and that puts you into here. So we don't want to put a break here, because then they have the option to go to main menu. So we'll remove break there. So Cheese Slice says, just format the string to pass in. What do you mean by that, Cheese Slice? Can you provide some more detail? I'd love to hear some more from you. So currently, my display task method by default returns all the values in my task list. Now it just prints those values, right, in a for loop. How can I pass that, right? Pass this class method into a calsay representation. Any ideas on that? So now let's go ahead and run this. Clear, run. So now if we press 1, okay, now we view, we should get all the tasks in the list. We can filter the tasks, view priority rated 1. That gives all those. We can filter again, view 2, no tasks. We can filter again, view 3. We get, interesting. We have a bug. So right now, by pressing priority rated 3 tasks, I'm getting all the tasks back instead of just the priority rated 3s. So why is that? Let's go ahead and check that out. So priority rated 3. So let's make sure first we're calling priority rated 3. Yes, we're calling. 3. So if the key is priority 3, priority change index start equals 0. For index, we enumerate if the task priority is equals to 3, we set that to index, and we create a copy of the index moving forward. This priority. So yes, view, filter. Yeah. That's not working. So our 3 filtration is not working somehow for some reason. So for index. For index tasks, and task if task priority is equal to 3. If the task's priority is equal to 3, we want to set the index to that portion, and then create a copy of the list from the task list, slice from then forward, and then print each one. I don't see anything really wrong with this. Anybody have any ideas as to why our priority 3 filtration method is not working appropriately? Well, I don't have any priority rated 3 tasks in there. So that's why it's displaying all the tasks. So why so I don't have another condition. So if else right, so else return, so if there are none, pass. But then it'll try to do this, and it won't be able to. Else print no current priority three tasks, right? So now we run this, run view filter 3, no, we still get all of them. We get it twice. So that's wrong. We're on the right track though. By the way, try setting a breakpoint to step through the methods. What do you mean by breakpoint? I've never heard of that term before. Could you explain, cheese slice? You can't pass it directly, cowsay, except string, so format it to a string to pass into cowsay. So if I'm returning a string though, would that not work? My method displays a string. So how do I convert a method that returns a string or displays a string into a string? My task is sorted by not priority, but by date due. So that date due that I provide initially is sorted by that because tasks with a due date of 1, 2, and 3 all share the same priority. So if I filtered by priority, or sorted rather by priority, I potentially have a bug of a task with a 3 due date coming before a task with a 1 due date if it was entered by the user that way. So by filtering or initially sorting by date due or days to complete, right? That takes care of that. So I'm gonna need a refill of some soda here. Keep me awake. So, but let's go ahead and figure out this bug. So I was saying priority 3. So else we want to break break the for loop and then we want to try and do this. So else, no, we can break here. Okay. I'll answer your question, cheese slice, in just a second. Hold on. So if we can break here, and then we need to set a condition here to see if this is still 0. So we'll say if priority change index start is not equal to 0, run the following, right? Else print no priority 3 tasks, right? So what we did was there was no condition met or checked to say that so what I was doing before was it was looping through the list if I wanted to filter priority rated 3 and checking for if there's any priority 3. If there wasn't anything, well, it was just breaking out and then printing all of our tasks. So I decided to make a check here. So if there's a priority if there's priority rated 3 tasks, then go ahead and create that index task switch, right? But else break out And then if there was no task found, if there was no index change found from priority 2 to priority 3, if there was, then go ahead and, you know, print out, filter the tasks. But if there wasn't a change in that initial value here, we're going ahead and that tells us there was no priority 3 tasks found. So if we go ahead and run this code, we should, I believe, work appropriately. So view tasks, filter tasks, view priority tasks, view 3. No priority 3 tasks. Good job. Okay, so now if we filter tasks 3, okay, now let's go back to main menu, add a new task. So let's add a priority rated 3 task. So we'll say this is do dishes. Days to complete is 10 because that'll fit the priority 3 criteria. Now if we view the tasks list, we get every task in our list, but if we filter and we filter by priority 1, we see the priority 1. If we filter by priority 2, we see the priority 2 tasks only, and if we filter priority 3, we get no priority 3 tasks, even though we have priority 3 tasks. Oh, but it's not saved in there. So if we so we just found another bug, it looks like, everybody. So if I were to go to main menu and save this, now I get that priority 3 task. And then if I run this again, run view task, filter task, view priority 1, filter task, view priority 2, filter task, view priority 3. No priority 3 rated tasks, even though I do have a priority 3. Okay, so this says okay, so this so we found one. Do you still need that else break? No, I don't think I do. Right? If they don't find one, they're not going to. So, okay. So that won't happen. It won't. Okay, so that'll gets rid of that. If the priority change index start does not equal 0, meaning that it was changed to something else, but what if there's only a priority 3 task in my if there's only a priority rated 3 task in my list, this won't work. Because that is index position 0, right? And if I'm using a switch, right, a trigger based on index position 0, then that make sense? So exit. So if there's a task priority that equals to 3, we're going to assign that index value to it. If there is no change in the index start trigger or switch, if there is a change, then we're going to make a copy of the list, go forward, I'm not sure. So if we run, we view, we filter, we see 3, I get do the dishes. Okay, so now it's working appropriately. So it was that else break then, Aqua. Good job. So the else break was not needed after this statement. So if there was no free found, it was breaking out of the for loop and then skipping and going down to here for some reason. Okay, so breakpoint allows you to set a point in the code where you can stop execution to observe the state of variables. If you click to the left side of the line number, and then go to the top right corner drop down button. Okay, so if I say set a point in the code where you can stop execution and observe the state of variables. Okay, so if I go here and I set a breakpoint here and I go put to main menu and I exit and I run this now, what, or no, not here, yes, here. Yes, view, filter, 3, do the dishes. Can't set it on a space. Okay. So then if I set it here, 128. Okay. So I run this. Run. Yes. View task list, filter task, do the dishes. Do the dishes. Choose the debug option. Okay, so what, this guy? Run Python debugger file. Here. Okay, yes. View. Filter. Okay, here we go. We're doing what Cheese Slice is saying here. So variables. Class variable index equals 2, key run priority 3, priority change index start equals 2, right? Because 0, 1, 2, it found it on the third variable, and setting. Gotcha. Cool. That's pretty neat. Thanks for helping me out with that, Cheese Slice. I really appreciate that. That was really helpful. Thank you for that. So the only thing that I can think of that would be wrong though, right, is um, we need to set a condition here to say if the priority um, change index start is not 0 and priority and task I guess if your index is right or wrong. Every programmer needs to know. Yeah, I need to learn more definitely about that debug tool. I appreciate you showing me that for sure. I need to use that more often, and I guarantee you it helped me. A couple of streams ago, I can't remember exactly who, but um, he showed me the Python visualizer, which you can see loops in like in a visual format, and it was really interesting to look at and to see. Okay, so let's go ahead and take that off. So if this is 0 still, meaning that um, there wasn't there wasn't a value found, but what if that there is a priority rated 3 task, but it's at the index 0 position, right, in the list. It's the only task in there. Well, this will fail because it's going to say that there are no tasks in there because 0, because it's in that third position, right? So if we need to say um, we might need to set another variable here to be in index priority. Let's make it really descriptive. Priority 3 task in index 0. Literally so descriptive. False, right? So we'll set that to false. So for if so if the task priority 3, which means we found one, set the index. If priority change index start is equal to 0, then we want to set the priority is in index 0 is equals true. We want to actually put this on the outside of the loop, I think. What do you mean G-slice? What do you mean by that? Why is the implementation using case statement switches? I have this put here because What if the user has a priority 3? Isn't the easiest way to just add an array and then at the end of the loop through? Isn't the easiest way to just add it to an array and then at the end of looping through everything just print it? Isn't the easiest way to just add it to an array, so add it to a list, oh, I get what you're saying. So if the priority 33, we want to get the index value. We want to actually, let's take 3 or itsy or itsy underscore 3 tasks equals an array, empty array. If we find a task, let's go ahead and task copy equals task and then priority rated 3 tasks dot append task copy. Now, do I need to have a copy of the task, or can I just append the task, or will it remove it from the list? I don't want to remove it and move it from list to list. I want to make a copy of it and then move it. So if we append all the tasks to the list, if the priority change is index 0, so we wouldn't need this then. We would say for index task and enumerate the priority 3 tasks. Right? Print that, else print no tasks. So shouldn't that work, gslice, in this sense? Because what I was doing before was I was just saying if it was a 3, create a slice from that point forward and print from that point forward. But I guess also it would work to append the task to a specified list of these tasks or an array and then print that array. So if we clear this guy now, we should still see do the dishes as our option here. So yes, view tasks, filter tasks 3, do the dishes, and we still get the no priority tasks at the bottom there. So okay, so we need to say we need to move this guy out of the way. Where would we put this? So for every append the task, else break, we want to break there, print. So we would want to say like here, if task dot tasks, right? If class dot tasks. So if there are tasks in the class list, do the following, else print do that. There are no priority 3 tasks. Cool. So we can, so then we need to also edit this part. So if class.task index enumerate, priority change index start. We wouldn't need this guy at all. So we wouldn't even need to enumerate. So for task in class.tasks, if the task priority is equal to 3, let's create a copy of the tasks and append that copy. And then we'll do the enumerate here. Cool. So I think that should work appropriately. Let's try that out. Anything to add cheese slice on those lines. So if we view the task list and we filter and filter 3, we should just do the dishes. So that works perfectly. So maybe I should actually alter these other ones to, well, this one I could add it to a list from one point forward, but this just makes but yeah, this doesn't handle the case that if there's only priority 2, so I will need to update these to be similar to the priority 3 one by creating a list and moving those into that list and printing that list rather than trying to identify these simple edge cases for each one, right? Because now if I were to say, let's go main menu, let's go edit task list, remove a task, let's remove 2, and let's remove task, let's remove 1. Now let's go main menu, view task list, main menu, exit. I still need to create like a mid saving point, so things save midway, so I don't have to exit out to update the contents each time. So I do need to add that in as well, but let's go run here. Now if we run and view, we should still be able to see the priority 3 task if it's the only one in there. Yes, perfect. You're trying to print all the priority 3. Your index needs to start at 0 in the for loop. Not in this one, no. In this one, I'm starting at index plus 1 because I'm printing out like a visual, 1 right here. In here, I didn't need the index. So you have just one list, but yeah. You could create a global list, reset it after every run priority. You could create a global list. You could create a global list, reset it after every run of priority. Disregard that comment? Okay. All right, so if you haven't Cheese Slice, please join the Discord so that way you can interact with everybody off stream and we can all share resources. Just go check out the community tab on my page, on my channel, for our link to the Discord to join. And feel free to follow the channel so we can communicate and we can link up again. This has been fun. Okay, so let's go ahead and just quickly modify. Can you remove your priority 3 tasks to see if it still works when there is a list of tasks but none of which are priority 3? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So main menu, let's exit out. I'm going to go ahead and just manually delete the task. Right? I'm going to run the program here. Let's add it, or oh, shit. I didn't like that because I had it saved. So let's go ahead, clear, run, yes, edit task list, remove task 1. So now we go main menu, view task list, no tasks on our list, please add a task. Okay, main menu, add a new task, clean room, how many days? 1, let's do 1, walk the dog, how many days to complete? 5. So there's no priority rated 3 tasks in here at all. So if I say filter tasks, view priority rated 3 tasks, no tasks. Perfect. So it's not actually hitting this else statement because there are tasks in here, right? So thank you for bringing that up, Aqua. G-Slice, thank you for stopping in. I really appreciate you coming in here. Yeah, good luck at school, and I want to see you again in here. We can collaborate and talk again. Hopefully I can get this up and running on GitHub and we can all use it together. But I appreciate you coming by. Good to meet you. So we need to adjust this to say if there are no priority rated 3, if there I can delete this, don't need that variable. I need to say, what can I say? For class, task and class.task. So let's just say, I don't know what to say here. So if there are tasks in the class list, but none of them are 3, so if So for every task in the task list, if the priority is 3, we want to copy the task and append the copy to the priority 3 task list. I think if you write another if statement inside the class task, probably after you append a priority 3 task. So yeah, I need to say like else else print, we can't print here because it'll print over and over again. But if we break, it will start to, let's just set a variable, right? Let's set I'll say no priority 3 is equal to true right here. Or say priority 3, so priority 3 is equal to or true here. None. So none. And then if not else, because that would just branch every time it loops through the array. Yeah, else, it wouldn't be else, right? We would have to break. So we need to, if there's that, we need to check if there's anything in here. If there's not anything in here, then we can go ahead and do that, right? Perfect. So if priority tasks, right? If there are tasks in this list, do this following, else print no priority tasks. Perfect, just like that. So now we don't even need this switch. So we have an empty list here. For every task in our task list, if their task's priority is 3, we want to take a copy and then append that copy to our priority 3 tasks list here. If there are copies in that, if there are data in this list, we're going to go ahead and print this, do the print statement, print the filter, else we're going to print there's no priority 3 tasks. Perfect. So now if we go main menu and exit out of this and clear and run here, run view task list, filter task 3, no priority 3 tasks. Good job. Let's go. All right, that's got to feel good. That has got to feel good. Thank you, Aqua, for helping me get through that. I appreciate your assistance. Honestly, really grateful for that. Big help. So what we were able to do, essentially, quick recap, is we needed to identify an instance or an edge case to if there wasn't anybody, or if there was tasks in the list, but if none of them were priority 3. And if that's the case, we had to, rather than before in our other instances, I'll change these as well. We'll go back through and change these. But before, I was using switches to identify when a priority change occurred. Now I don't need to do that necessarily. That's kind of just creating more work. What I can do via what Cheese Slice recommended was to just create a new array for that priority condition, append items to that array that meet the criteria, and then print that array. So that's what I did in priority 3 here. I added those new criteria, or those met criteria, to the new array. But if there was no criteria met, right? If there was stuff in the list, but there's no criteria that was met, meaning there was nothing put into our new list here, we are going to, if there was, we're going to go ahead and print that material. If there wasn't, we know there wasn't any priority 3 tasks, so we can print no priority 3 tasks. and we can be done. Right. You could maintain an index variable in the first if condition, and that way you won't need the second if statement. Okay, so let's see here. For index tasks so you want me to enumerate this statement again, right? Okay, so you want me to say for index task in enumerate class tasks, you want me to if the task priority is equal to 3, if the task priority is equal to 3, we want to create a copy. So what would the index tell us, right? Without enumerating, just initialize a variable to 1, and every time it runs, increment it by 1. Okay, so instead you don't enumerate. So for index and task in class.task, if the task priority is equal to 3, oh, okay, so if the task priority is equal to 3, you want me to go index plus equals to 1. So add 1 to index each time, and then I get what you're saying. I can just remove that now. So by creating this index variable here, remove index from 4. Remove index from 4, okay. Initialize index equals 0 when you initialize the empty array. Okay. So index plus equals to 1 every time we loop through. Okay, so this will tell you the number of priority rated 3 tasks that you find, right? You won't even need the second for loop. So I'm trying to follow along with you, Darshan. So we initialize index 0 up top, and we have an empty array. For every task in our class task, if the task priority is 3, we increase the count by 1. Directly use the print statement at the end of the if condition. Oh, I get what you're saying. So like this, and then remove this guy. So you want me to, for every task in the class, we want to increase the start index at 0, increase by 1 if we find 1, print that index. Oh, okay, just like that. I get what you're saying. Wow, Darshan, that's really intelligent that you're able to refactor that like this pretty quickly. I applaud you, man. That's really cool thinking on your part. Because if you count the indexes from the beginning, and then every time you get one, you just increase the index count. Well, when you find one, your index count is 1, so you can just print the index for every time you find one. Just better with less loops. Yeah, I guess the more loops you do, the more complicated things become, because you're kind of nesting things and breaking in and out of things. Perfect. Okay, so that will, now let's go ahead and make sure that code works appropriately. So let's make sure that we view task list, we filter, and we view 3, no priority rated 3 tasks. Perfect. So we're not getting any priority 3 tasks, even though those are in there. Great. So now, oh yeah, I think it just automatically kicked out because there was no priority 3 task, so it printed that. Oh shoot. Like so, there we go. All right. No, I don't want to indent this actually. I don't want to print it every single time. So I actually don't need to add this to a list either. I just need this, right? So I just need to keep the count, the index here, for every task in the class task. If the priority is equal to 3, we want to increase the index, print the index plus the task.title, else there's no priority 3 tasks. It can be simple as that, refactored down. Right, Darshan, you agree? What do you think? Now the only downside is you don't have an array here that has just the priority 3 things in it, but that's kind of, if you want that, it doesn't really matter. You can put that in. So then let's go ahead and try this for the priority 2 tasks. So we'll just copy this over like so, paste this down. If you don't want to print no priority task 3 task each time, you could set a flag to false and then change it to true in the if statement. Oh wait, will it, hold on, let me go back. So the for else no, so for every task I get what you're saying. So we could say if you don't want to print no priority task 3 each time, you could set a flag to false and change it to true in the if statement. So priority 3 equals false right? Priority 3 is equal to true. If priority 3 is equal to false, print no priority 3 tasks. Okay, like so. So we set a flag for priority 3. We search through. If we find one, we set that to true. After we get done with that loop, if we didn't find one and it remains false, we print this, else we, okay, perfect. So I think that works great. So now if we go clear and run this one, view tasks, filter, priority 3, everything works perfectly. No priority 3 tasks. But if we were to add in a priority 3 task, so then we go main menu, add task, feed dog, feed dough, complete 10, view tasks, filter task, view priority 3 task, feed dough, perfect. We got it. So now main menu, for exit, clear. Awesome. So now if I delete these though and I try to run this program, will it let me? Yes. Cool. So awesome, Darshan. That looks like that worked perfectly. So now what we can do is we can try to do the same thing to the priority 2 tasks. Rather than taking slices. Jeez, hiccups. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to just comment this out for now. So index equals 0, priority 2 is equal to false. For task and class priority is equal to 2, we want to create the index. Priority 2 is equal to true. Index plus task title, priority 2 is equal to false, no priority 2 tasks. So now, can we still see those tasks on here? So let's go ahead and clear this. Run this file. 1, add a task, clean room. 1, add task, walk dog. 5. Okay, now if we view tasks, we should see all of them. Filter tasks, view priority 2 tasks, walk dog. Perfect. Now if we go main menu, we edit task list, remove a task, remove the clean room task, go back to the main menu, view the tasks. We should see our only task, which is walk dog, which is priority 2. Now if we filter the tasks and view priority 2 tasks, we should still only see walk dog. Walk dog, perfect. Awesome. So we were successfully able to refactor all of this code, all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 lines of code down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we were able to eliminate 9 lines of code and eliminate an array being made, enumerate occurring, all of those additional functions. So that is a lot more efficient now. Thanks to Darshan's help. Appreciate you guys' help in chat. Awesome, this is perfect. So now we need to do the same thing for priority 1. So let's go ahead and comment these out, and let's paste in that. So index equals 0, priority 1 is equal to false. Couldn't you just make this a function that you pass each time the user inputted priority so there's less code? Actually, that's a great idea too. So let me go ahead and set this up accordingly, and then we will go ahead and make it a function. That's a perfect idea to go ahead and take this to the next step. I like that. So let's make this priority 1, right, and then priority 1 is equal to false, no priority 1 tasks. Perfect. Okay, so then what do we need if we're going to make this a function? What would we need? So for if heat index is equal to 0, we wouldn't even need to enumerate the thing here. We would just say print so index equals 0 for task in class. Perfect. Okay, so I think that works. All right. Now let's try to main menu for clear, and let's run this. Or no, let's run this. View. Okay, we see that. Filter. No priority 1 task. Filter. Walk dog. Filter. No priority 3 tasks. Perfect. Okay, so everything seems to be working accordingly. Let's add a couple of tasks. Clean. 1. Add task code. 10. So now we have tasks in. Okay, so that's current not working. So print index plus equals to 1. Perfect, just like that. So now that should work. We fixed that bug. Now if we view, perfect, we get 1, 2, 3, filter. We should see that one, filter, should see that one, filter, should see that one. Perfect. So now that's working perfectly. So now we will do Aqua's idea and recommendation is to turn all of these into functions because they essentially do the same exact thing. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to temporarily put this above here so I can see. We need to access the class. It's another class method, right? So we'll do class method because we have to access the class tasks. So it's another class method. It's going to take in the class, and then it's going to also take in a no, I don't think it takes in anything else actually. So then what we'll do is class method. Then what we'll do is we'll define what should this be called? Do I have a filter? It takes in the class itself. We'll just say filter tasks for right now. Index is equal to 0 for task in class dot tasks, right? We'll make this flag is equal to 0, or flag is equal to false. Right, and then for task and task.class and class.tasks, we're going to increase the index by 1 every time we find it. We loop through the task, and then we're going to just print that there, right? And then Just copy this. Go up here, paste this here. So index equals 0. Priority, we'll make this a flag for more general. Or we'll say priority found is equal to, you need to top check the priority still and pass what priority you need to check as an input. So priority found is equal to false for task and class. The task type priority is equal to, yeah, so we need to say priority is equal to priority, right? Index plus 1, priority found. Priority, index 1 priority found is equal to true, and then set that if priority found is equal to false, print an F string here for priority, priority, and this is going to be in type int, right? We want this to be an integer. Right? Is priority an integer? Set priority range 1 to, yeah, it's an integer. So we have this filter class method now, filter task method. Okay, so might want to change this. Oh yeah, task.priorities. Might want to change the name of the variable since you already have a task.priority. Filter priority, or we'll say priority filter. Like so, like that, Darshan. What do you think about that? So we've successfully able to take filter tasks and convert it to a function. So now we can apply it to each one of these. So we need to call, instead of this here, we're going to call task.filter tasks with a priority of 1 given. Cool. And then I think we just do the same thing for the other guys. Do a task.filter tasks priority 2. And then here as well. Priority 3. So now it'll call to this filter task function, which will do all of that for us, provided a priority filter that the user provides, which we provided here. So now if we exit this program and we clear out, and then we run, and we view, we get all of our things, so our view still works. Now we filter. This is where we change stuff, right? So we want to filter view priority 1 tasks. We get clean, filter, view priority 2 tasks. We get walk the dog. And view priority 3 tasks. We get code. Woo! Now it's down to 36. Now from 36 to just 9. That's why I love object-oriented programming. Yes, we were able to successfully take 36 lines of repetitive code from originally from taking slices of our list based on criteria and flagged parameters that we found. We then were able to just transport those to an additional array, but then we were able to identify that we don't even need to append those to an array. We can just find the ones we want, print those directly with an index increase every time we find one that meets our criteria. Now, would we maybe want to add the option to add, or not add the option, just do it behind the scenes as to add those tasks to an array? Yeah, maybe. I think it could be useful to have an instance where if we do filter those tasks get put into an array that maybe we could do something with later. But I don't really see at the moment, unless you guys can think of anything, I can identify anything that the user would want to use just that data for other than just displaying it, right? Is there anything that you guys can think of where, okay, I want to see the priority 3 tasks, I want to filter those tasks and see them, but is there anything further I would want to do with those tasks to where I, the user, would want to have an array of those tasks or a list of those tasks that I can manipulate as well? Do you guys have any thoughts on that or ideas as to a user um, instance to where that would apply? And this has successfully been our longest stream yet, through over 3 hours and 18 minutes. So big round of applause. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you guys are watching the stream, make sure to give it a like if you guys are enjoying. It really motivates me to continue and get up in front of the camera and make myself look like a fool sometimes. But if you guys are also just interested in following along and are also a beginner programmer or even a more advanced programmer, please consider following along and maybe joining our Discord, as we're trying to grow a community of programmers in general that support one another and that through online resources and learning and self-teaching. So awesome. All right. Not that I can think of. Not unless you start doing some crazy use cases like setting reminders or sending mails. Well, Darshan, that is actually pretty cool. That'd be interesting, right? So like if you want to set reminders for only the level 3 tasks, then you would have to group them together to set reminders for them. Yeah, that'd be interesting, right? But obviously, this program can evolve and expand as far as we want. So little by little, we can add more and more features and make it really interesting. But I think next, now that everything seems to be working appropriately and we have everything kind of refactored down, I think we are good to get this published and pushed to GitHub so you guys can try it yourself and we can really put this to the test for some user and get some feedback from you guys trying it out. I think that would really kind of set this in motion. Let me go ahead and move this function down here. X. Oh, shoot. That didn't keep any of that junk. Huh. Whatever. Okay, we'll just leave this as is. Not sure what's going on here. What's going on? Okay, let's just stop messing with stuff before things break. Okay, cool. Awesome. So that is doing good so far. So I think for my next objective here is that feature I really want to add in before we push this code. Let's just go ahead and I swear we had a feature where it wasn't working, where we need to find out where things aren't saving appropriately. So if we were to go ahead and clear out our terminal and then run this code, yes, view list, main menu, edit task list, remove task 1, edit task list, edit task property, let's make a task title, LOL, 3 days, main menu, edit task list, edit task property, edit the first one, due days complete, 10 days to complete, view menu, view task list. Right there. That is our problem. For some reason, when we edit a task and then we go to re-edit the task, it's not saving. And it's not working appropriately. So why is that? So let's go main menu. Let's exit. So we have tasks here. Let me go ahead and delete the LOL task. Main menu, and let's run. So we can view the task, we see our task there. We go main menu, we can edit the task list, edit a task property, edit the task we want to edit. Let's edit the task title, new task title. So we edited the task title. So now if we go back to the main menu and view all the tasks, we have that new task title. Right? I need to add another task though first. So I can see it swap places. So I'll make this dummy task and 5. So as you can see, we have dummy task and new task title. If I go main menu, exit, clear, run. So 1. So if we view the task, we see our task here. If we edit the task list, edit the task list, we edit a task property. Let's edit the second task. We want to change the task title to newer task title, right? And now if we go back to main menu and we view, we see that, right? And we filter task, or not filter. We go main menu, edit task list, edit task property, edit the second task. We want to edit the days to complete to 1. Go to main menu, view, newer task title. So that worked. So there's just a couple of cases where it doesn't work appropriately, and I catch it every so often, and I can't seem to pinpoint when it's occurring. So if we view the list, we have newer task title and dummy list. So let's go main menu, edit task list, edit task property, edit the first one. Let's make this new title of code. Let's make it a new days to complete of 10. So now this should move to the bottom of the list. Okay, let's go to main menu. Let's view. Okay, that worked. It changed the name to code and it moved it to the bottom of the list. So let's go main menu, edit task list, edit task property. Let's edit dummy task. Let's give it a new name of new name. Let's go to main menu. Now let's edit task list, edit task property, edit the same one, the new name. The new name, it's saved appropriately. Let's make the new days to complete 100. So now this should be at the bottom of the list. Now here, so it did it there. So why? So let me go main menu, add new task. Let's add a third task just in case something is going on. So let's make this walk dog. Got 1 day to complete. So if we view all, we have that. So let's filter tab. No, not filter. We need to new menu. Okay, let's exit out so everything saves, and let's clear. And let's run again. So we can see all of our tasks here. Let's go ahead and edit a task list, edit the task property. Let's edit task 1, walk dog. Let's give it a new title of go outside. So now go outside is the task that we changed it to. Let's go back to main menu. Let's edit the task list. Let's edit the task property, go outside, edit the days to complete to 1,000, 10,000. Main menu, view task list. Okay, so that worked again. So we were successfully able to remove the task name, or change the task name, and move it to the bottom of the list when you change the date by in the different menu. So if we go to the main menu, we edit the task list, we edit the task property, let's edit code. Let's change the days to complete to 100, and let's change the title to code Python. So now code Python should be in second place. Main menu, view task list. Well, let's see actually. Main menu, save. Let's see. I might got my days mixed up. Oh, so they have the same. So it's working, but maybe I'm just not. Maybe I'm thinking it's not working, and I'm just mixing up things. But I swear there's an instance somewhere in here, some combination of data input that causes the task to not update appropriately with its new parameters. So I'm going to manually change this to 1, this to 5, and then this to 10, right? So now if we run this program, yeah, that's what I'm saying is it might be some very specific edge case as to how you put in the data specific in some sort of sequence that happens every so often just by random chance. And that's what I'm trying to not like reoccur, but I'm trying to represent again or make happen here. So if I press 1 to enter, I can edit the task list. Oh, I think it might occur actually. Here we go. Let's go main menu. Let's go edit the task list. Let's remove some tasks. Let's remove tasks. So we removed everything, right? And there's no tasks on our list. Now let's try what happens if we exit the program. So now we have no tasks. We clear, we run, and let's start. So what happens if we add new tasks from the very beginning? Because our program only saves and writes the tasks to the file when we exit the program. It pre-stores the things in the list, right? But only saves to the file when we exit. What happens if we add a task and then try to edit that task without having a saved instance? So let's add a task, code, days to complete is 1. Let's add a new task, walk dog, days to complete is 5. So these have different priorities. So now if we view, code comes first, walk the dog comes second because code has a higher priority. by date due, not by input, but by date due. Now, if we go back to main menu, we edit the task list, edit a task property, edit the code task. Let's change the title to go outside. And let's change the days to complete to 10. And then go to the main menu and view. Well, that handled our case completely too. So that disproves that theory as well. So without saving the file, it's still able to, sort and change the data. But where and why would we need to save the file? I remember seeing an edge case a little bit ago where I was like, oh, I need to save the file prematurely. I don't think you would, because you only need to save the file upon a program close. Or obviously if things get corrupt, things might not save, but I'm not really worried about that right now. There's no reason why you would have to save prematurely to access the data. It should already be there while the program is running. I'm just trying to, this might seem boring, I know, but I'm trying to just identify that edge case that I saw earlier as to where the task was not updating appropriately when being edited from the menu. So if I go main menu, edit task list, is there an instance where you save the files but not exit the program? No, Darshan, I currently do not have that method currently available in the program. I have the ability to obviously write, whenever, but I have no current step to where the user can press 5 to save or whatever. Do you think that that would be useful to implement? That could cause issues where the list still remains active, which can be edited, but there is something else in a file. Yeah, I don't have any premature saving happening at the moment. Saving only occurs when the program is closed. So I get what you're saying as to if I save the file, there could be issues that arise with trying to manipulate data that might not be. This could cause issues where the list still remains active. Yeah, I don't think that would apply here, unfortunately. So I guess I'll just keep working at it until I see that happen again. Maybe I'll go back on the stream and review the footage and try to clip that that error and try to recreate it that way. I think that might be effective. So after this stream gets over, I'll go back and I'll look at that portion. But so far, we are successfully able to edit task properties, remove tasks, clear the task list, view the tasks, filter the tasks on all 3 priority parameters. We are given proper edge cases. We're able to back out and go to the main menu when accessing different things. Yeah. Is there anything you guys can think of that we should implement here? I've been streaming for 3.5 hours, so I might be getting time to kind of wrapping it up. It's 12:17 a.m. for me, but tomorrow I'm completely free, and my girlfriend is not with me. She's got to work, so I'll be free to stream and study pretty much almost all day, with obviously some breaks in between. But I'll be streaming a good chunk of the day tomorrow as well. So please follow along and join the Discord if you want to remain active and participate in those streams as well. But any other thing that we think we can implement quickly tonight that might be useful that we can think of, Darshan or Aqua or anybody else that's in here? I think tomorrow something I really want to focus on is researching the terminal. I think it's just the operating system module or library. That way I can after each prompt or menu prompt, the terminal will clear, and that way you won't have a running scroll of data inputs that is kind of hard to track because everything looks pretty monotonous. So by refreshing the terminal screen after in between inputs, I wonder if there's an ability to do that, and I'm sure that there is. So I want to look into that. If you guys have any familiarity with that, please let me know. I love to research that and implement that here because I want to refresh what's a blank terminal screen after every menu prompt just to clean things up. I think that that would be a nice final touch, and then release the 1.0 version from there. But any final topics or things of mention, Darshan, or anybody that is remaining in here after the 3.5 hours? Really appreciate you guys hanging in here with me. I just went back and checked when you mentioned there was a problem. It seems it was working fine. It was again the case of same days to complete for 2 different tasks. I just went back and checked. Hey, I just went back and checked when you mentioned there was a problem. It seemed it was working fine. It was again the case of same days to complete for 2 different tasks. Hmm. So maybe it's has if tasks have the same days to complete, it gets them jumbled up. So let's test that out. Let's set this to 5, right? So these should both be loaded with the same priority. So if I clear this and I run this program, and I run in, okay, so this did not update because I manually changed that actually. So let's exit and let's clear, and let's clear these out, right? And let's run. So if we view, we have nothing. So let's add code, 5 days to complete, add clean or walk, 5 days to complete. Okay. I'm not familiar with terminal clearing from program itself. I just also spam clear after it gets all messed up. LOL. Yeah. Aqua, same here. That's what I've been doing. I want to try to clean it up. I think I'm going to try to research that tomorrow. So if we edit the task list, we're not given any tasks. Oh no, how would you like to edit the task? Edit a task property. Which task would you like to edit? Code, task title, eat, days complete 10, main menu, view tasks. Okay, so that worked too. So having the same days does not seem to matter. So let's go edit menu, edit tasks, edit a task property. Let's edit the eat task. Let's edit the title to back to code. Let's set that. Let's go to main menu. Let's edit the task. Let's view. So that's code, main menu, edit task list, edit task property, edit code, edit the days complete, set it to 1, view, and move back. So everything is working appropriately. So I'm not sure what I was talking about. I'll have to double check that part of the stream and get back to you guys. I'm not sure why it was being funny. Yeah. Try this with your exit command. You mean like a sys.exit, like if I'm using sys? Which I am. So hello, Miss Kitty. My kitty's bugging me. She wants some food, late night snack. I'll hold her up for you guys. Miss Kitty! She's used to my manhandling. She likes it. Hopefully that kind of give you guys a smile. She's a real cutie. Alright. So there is one little thing I wanted to edit. Which task would you like to edit? I need to add in another line here. So which task would you like to edit? Edit task list. No. Which task would you like to edit? I need a new line right here. Right there, perfect. Right? Which task would you like to edit? No, I don't want a new line there. I need a new line before the which task would you like. It's not here, but I want it here. Okay, perfect. Okay, so try this in your Python code. OS is a library that gives you access to terminal commands in Python code. Yeah, Kitty, she's super cute. I have my dog Sky. She has blue eyes. She's a husky, but she's just likes to lay on the bed and she won't come over here. I've had her since I first started college. We've been together since she was a puppy. We've been best friends for 6 years. She's going on 7 next year. All right. So now if we go ahead and just run this guy. Yep. Edit task list. How would you like to edit the task list? Select one of the following options. Edit the task, remove task, clear those. Yes. Main menu. So if we clear the task list, I don't want to go back to the edit property type. I want to. Are you sure you want to clear? That didn't do anything. Oh, break clear task list. And then I want to run. Do I call run system here? If I press main menu. Okay. So if the user presses 1, we want to clear the task list and break. Put that there. I want to clear the task list and run sys. I want to go back to main menu. Perfect. So now if I go ahead, save this up, run this guy, yes, add clean 1, add code 5, view, edit, got it, perfect, everything works. Edit task properties, clear task list, yes, view, no tasks in the clear, perfect. All right, Darshan, I'm actually gonna head out too, man. This is perfect timing. I really appreciate you hanging on and joining with me. It's great having you here. You're a really big help, and honestly, provide a lot of great input with the project. You've been a great help so far. Same with you, Aqua. Thanks for joining, and for anyone else that's joining and that's been here so far or thus far, I really appreciate you being here. Like I say quite often, I want to just make sure you guys feel appreciated that you guys are here and spending time with me. You guys could be doing anything really, spending time doing anything, and you guys are here learning how to program with me, which is pretty cool. But join the Discord, follow the channel if you guys want to keep staying in touch and working together. And we'll continue working on this tomorrow, which will be November 3rd, which is actually today because it's past midnight. But I will go ahead and see you guys tomorrow. It's been a great stream. Over 3 hours and 45 minutes for a total of 118 views on my end here, which is what I'm reading. So, very successful stream. Thank you guys so much for the support. Bye.